So what's up, guys? We're back right now, and from the last thing you said like what I got, and I want to make it obvious to you guys is when your mind is telling you, "Hey, quit, stop this mess." Your mind is not paying attention to the present. It's just bringing into account the past experiences you've had. Like last time you failed, like that's what your brain is putting into consideration at that point. So you're not paying attention to the present. Check it really well. It takes tremendous amount of consciousness or awareness to know these things actually happening when your mind like shatters. So understand this part of it. So you cannot live your life putting into consideration the past, okay? And that is just it. And he says something. Sir Patrick said, when you sometimes feel like quitting, like sometimes you can just give it should I say give it even if you quit, you can come back the next 2 days. Even if you stop it, sometimes if you have been addicted to the process, you will like to come back again later. So sometimes I call it break period. Because I remember when I started distribution called distribution in Gary Science, like now we no longer employ anybody. Okay, everything robots right now. AI is taking over everything. So at first when I started, it was really hard. It was hard for me. Whoever tells you success is easy, like that person is joking, okay? It was hard. It was horrible. Well, it was horrible because I was just a newbie in the game, okay? And like in the new, like you said, new market segment, right? That was the field I was in. So it was really hard, right? Hard. You know what? There was a time I remember some time when I was distributing. You know what? It was just my bro was telling me, "Quit! Quit!" And you know what? I gave myself break. And you know when I came back, I got a better result. So sometimes breaks are allowed. Very important. So now, right now, we're going over. He has taught you, everyone, on how you can minimize negative feeling while you wait for success. While I wait for success. So now, right now, we want to, because when you're talking about emotions, you should be considering business, okay? Business or to the general world. But in this podcast, let's stay in this direction a bit. First, let me give you this. My Vizela is here right now. This is a unique show. You understand? This is Hard Talk of Very Science. Whenever this show occurs, there's a reason for this. Take it now. Good. That is it, right? I gotta celebrate. Be motivated and dedicated each day of your life. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are new, and make sure you like this video. Like it. If you don't like it, I'll come to your house. I'll come and pay you a visit. Okay? If you're in the US, I'll come and pay you a visit. Everyone, yeah, you want to come and pay you a visit? Just joking, okay? So now, Patrick, I just want to ask a question right now. We're going over to, should I say, we're taking the next step. Okay? Can you summarize for us right now a summary, okay, an advice on how to cope better in the general and business world? Okay, you're talking about, let's say you're talking to the teenagers right now. How can they cope better in the general world as a teenager, not considering business now? Then the later of the question is how to cope better when considering your emotions. So how to cope better in the general world as a businessman or businesswoman. Then as a teenager, how to cope better in the general world considering your emotions, like how to handle your emotions, how to cope better handling your emotions in general world as a teenager, then as a businessman. Let's go.
Okay. The first thing again before you can actually handle anything is to first calm down. That is just try to catch your breath in any situation where you feel like things are getting out of control. Calm down and try to catch your breath there. Look at what is happening. Try to get a clear view or a very, very good understanding of what is happening before you make any particular decision or before you go along with any trend. Try to use this particular framework where you ask the question, like you'll be asking yourself the question: this particular thing that is going to happen, is it consequential, or like is it really, really, really necessary? That it's like how important is it, or just how insignificant is it? Like try to get how much weight any particular decision you try to make has. When you get the weight, that will now like try to guide your decision to say, okay, if this not if something, if you are stressed about something that you can easily write off, just write it off already. But if it's something that is really, really significant and you feel like the whole thing is out of control, the only thing, I think the first thing that you can still do in that particular situation is try to catch your breath, because if you don't catch your breath and you just act out of, I think probably out of anger or out of fear, there's a likelihood that you're going to do something very reckless. I think probably I've forgotten the term for it, but don't try to act just emotionally. Always try to catch your breath before. I think that is the best advice that I can give to anybody. Catch your breath. That catching your breath will let you calm down. Like bring your mind back to the present and start to actually analyze, okay, what is happening, and try to get a clear understanding of what is actually happening. Like what are all the factors involved there? Start to look at, okay, which actions can I actually take to resolve or to actually deal with everything that is happening. And also once you can get a good understanding, like once you can try to reach a good enough control of the present and here, then you can actually try to project, okay, what's like you can try to lay the plans for, okay, what am I going to do in the future? Before you try to plan for the future, always try to control the present. Like try to have a good enough control of the present, so you can actually plan, okay, what can I do in the future? Or if particular things like this happen, what's like how can I better respond to this thing? Again, your plans are things that are not always concrete, because again, the future you don't know what could happen, so things could go out of control, like some things may not align, but it's always good to have a plan for the future. Like a plan will not be like your foundation on which should any similar events occur, based on you can now go back and look at your plan to say, okay, what did I learn from the past, or how can I now better respond to this, which basically what elements can I take from my plan to actually deal with what is happening now. I think this particular advice applies to both individuals and to business. For you to project your business, like for you to plan for your business, the future of your business, you first need to have a good enough plan of what is happening today in it. Is when you have a good enough plan for how you can deal with today before you can now deal with the tomorrow. Also, I think for businesses or individuals looking to grow, I think having like a goal, or probably like a next step, always have a next step, no matter how far you feel you have come, like where you want to go. It's not like, how would I put it, like a next step to learn, like to actually gather to improve. That's the better way. Like a next level of improvement. Always have that as an individual or as a business. I think that is very, very, very crucial.
That's really good. That's really good. Always have the next step in your mind on improvement. Okay, make sure you make improvement. Like have the next step. The next step should be the intention to improve. The next step should be the intention to improve. Like if you can do this, like I don't, if you can do this, if like we have already talked about this on the business. I think first segment where you talked about business roles, talked about different segments, and you talked about how to keep yourself. And if you have a product, like if you can just keep improving. Let's say you are the pioneer of a particular product, and before others will come to you, and if you keep improving and improving, like you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, but if you have a product, even if you're the pioneer and you don't improve on it, other people will come, they will do what you are doing, and they will actually surpass you. So like always leave room for improvement. Like that's really great advice. Like the wise would take these things right now and apply them to their lives. Okay, very very important. So Patrick, 5 minutes. How can I understand the science of the universe? Let's go.
The science of the
The
universe.
universe. Do you believe? Is there anything like the science of the universe?
Expansive, like the universe is this very, very expansive subject. Like the whole universe, I think it's to explain the universe, I think it's very, very difficult, but let me try to create an analogy of how to better explain the whole universe. Mm. For me, though, I think the one crucial thing that I've seen in the whole universe, like the one key factor, key event that I would say that really that I just thought of just that keeps always that just pops up every time is improvement. That is like the universe is always seeking ways to actually evolve, like evolution again. Because if you, no matter what you where the process, I believe that the universe was made, whether by creation or by the Big Bang theory. If you notice, one key part of nature that always keeps repeating itself is evolution. That is always trying to improve whether the animals or the plants, like trying to increase their survivability or whatever good genes that you have is always a key factor playing into the universe. Like things are always coming together, even though they take time, but they are always come together like to always improve. Whether for millions of years or hundreds of millions of years, things are always improving in every single part of the universe. The universe is expanding. I think the possibilities are also expanding with it. And also as it's aging, things are also that time is giving things time to improve, to just get better. So I mean, I think the universe it is how I don't really have one single word to actually define it, but the universe for me is just unique. Like it's just out there. You can feel the universe for me. It's just there's this energy that is always expanding, always improving. I think that's my best explanation for like to rise the universe. I think it's just always expanding and always getting better. Like it's just spreading goodness all around.
Yeah, that's a great one. It's a great explanation of the universe and what it is. For me, that's a bigger picture of it. And like what you said about evolution, this is something that the universe throws into like something that comes into everything. Evolution, the plants and everything you see there. Evolution is just rapidly on and on and on. So that is also a great explanation to the universe, and we hope you got that right now if you're watching right now. And that is just it. So now we are going over to the next right now. Now, Patrick, can you tell me right now how can I create a brighter future for myself if I'm in the US, UK? What is that one thing that transcends our region? Okay, that can help every man and woman, whether you're from Nigeria, UK, Canada, like that can help any human being to create a brighter future for himself. Imagine I'm a teenager watching right now and I'm asking you this question. What would be your response?
So the best way to create a brighter future for yourself, probably to be comfortable enough because you need money to be comfortable. And the best way is to actually try to get enough time to sell solutions. That is the best way to survive in this current economy. Because if you say you actually want to just get a job and everything will be done, it means that jobs they do not offer enough pay or do not offer enough to actually keep people expenses ahead of expenses. So the only way to truly to just go ahead, like to be able to have that brighter future that I seek. I think the only way to do it is to sell solutions. That is, well, once you sell solutions, there are two benefits. Number one, you get more time, and number two, you get to earn more compared to if you sell your time to make money. That is when I mean sell your time to make money. That is you get a job or you do any other thing.
Yeah.
Because by selling your time, you are always going to get fixed income. But if you can actually be serious enough and actually find a particular solution to a problem, and you can actually market that solution properly, you can actually have the right future that you seek.
Wow. Like, that's the reason you're always gonna be here. That's Don't sell your time, sell solutions. Period. This gets into your head, the virus will just disappear. Don't sell your time, sell solution. Like, did that enter your head? I hope it entered. Okay, Patrick, the next we have for you right now is, what is future? Can you define what future is? Some people say, hey, in the future I want to be great. Like, I foresaw this moment. Okay, like in my life, I told you right now when we met at Ogbe Secondary School. I told you I wanted to have this kind of podcast of everything, right? That has been in my mind for a very long time, and I just wanted to have a podcast like this. And guess what? Right now, I'm doing it right now. I had to do the initial work. I had to create the stand there right now, this stand here right now, only the phones. The other one, I had to create everything. The background we have there right now, the back, I had to create everything. Like, I foresaw this moment, and it's actually a reality for me. And the other bigger things that I do foresee now, I will actually make them reality to me with time. Follow our advice. It's life changing. Okay? So, Patrick, what is future? Define future for us.
So, network.
Network is affected.
Okay. So future based on future for like somebody's future or the coming.
For my future, let's say somebody's future, what is the definition of it? Because some people don't really understand what future is. They think future is kind of a package or a different kind of a book or goods you're trying to transport over to the person. Like, so let's understand what future is. What is future?
Okay. Basically, somebody's future is like the time after it is like an event, or how will I put this? So basically, the person or we are living in the present now. So the future now is the time that is yet to come for anybody. That is how will I try to put it in much more better terms? But basically, the time that we live in currently, we just call it the present, since it's what we are currently experiencing. So your future so the future now is basically the time that you have not yet experienced, and while you are alive, you are going to experience it. So the future is not like a definition of like or a series of events that is meant to happen to you. The future again is just another time, this time continuum. So there's no real this must happen to you in the future, or this must happen to you. So the future is just simply a time that is going to come after the present that we have not yet experienced. So the future is just let's use the calendar for example. Like if you look at the calendar, it will highlight the current day for you. Why? After the current day, there is always going to be days after, months after, and years after. So the future is in a way like a blank canvas that you have not yet experienced, that you can still write upon, like you can still change. There are things that you can actually choose to fill those days and those months and those years with things with either activities that you aim to do, or probably goals that you want to achieve. So you can actually, the future is just like like I said, it's just like a blank canvas that you can write anything into, or you can try to write into, or probably like the future is more time, or it's just like the future is just like enough, like 3 points that will give you the ability to be able to actually chase a goal or chase a dream. The future is just free time that you have not yet spent out of.
Wow. The definition is so powerful. Another time in space-time is the future. It's a free time you've not yet experienced. What is the power in it? You can alter things. You can come up with entirely new structures. It's another time in space-time. I'm going to clip this part out. It's another time in space-time. Okay, now we're going over right now. Does future exist? From your definition, it means future exists, right? The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle tells you that the future is just tomorrow now. Okay, the future is just tomorrow now. That's another definition of the future by The Power of Now is a book by Eckhart Tolle. It says the future is just tomorrow now, but Sir Patrick's definition, I think, is the best right now. It's another time in space-time. That's the future. It gives you a lot of power. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next right now. How can we better? Okay, how can we be better individuals right now in the background of our future?
How can we be better individuals in the background of our future? Okay, I think again the only way to actually be better is for you to first, like, you need to actually want to improve. That is, there should be this iota or there should be this vacuum of improvement in you that you want to feel. Because again, if you don't have the passion to actually improve, you are never going to take any first step. So again, improvement in anything is not just like there's no single solution to, like, you just give the person a single piece of advice, then to help the person improve all across the board. Improvement is you actually going and looking at things that can be better. You know that the things are good enough, but you are trying to find areas where things can be better, and that is, and for you to actually do that, you need to actually now start looking at what you are trying to improve. So if it's yourself that you are trying to improve, you need to know yourself completely. That is, you need to let your mind speak, like let your mind just pick up all its thoughts that have been there. Then from there, you can now try to say, okay, why am I having these particular thoughts, or which particular thoughts do I want to have, or which particular direction do I want to go? Then from there, you will now you need to actually shape your thoughts yourself. Again, shaping your thoughts is something that you actually need to take time, like just create. You must not even create a lot of time. Like, once a particular thought comes to your head and you know that, okay, probably this thought is not aligning with my future, you can actually choose to ignore that thought, or try to find, like, if the thought is like a question and the question in a way puts you off, you can try to either you can try to answer that particular question that your mind is asking you. Because again, if you don't answer that question, your mind is always going to bring up that particular thing up, because again, curiosity. So in that particular situation, if you can try to answer that particular question your mind is asking. Or probably if it's like your mind just brings up something, not a question, like a word or a statement, you can actually, if you see that that particular thing is not aligning with the future that you want to have, you can just choose to ignore it. Then little by little, you can actually now start to try to cut down on your bad habits, or probably habits that you want to get rid of, or thoughts that you want to get rid of. Then you can now start building up things that you actually want to see in yourself. Like some people will say, they say, be the change you want to see in the world. So for you to improve now, you now actually need to check yourself first. Okay, what needs to go and what needs to come. Only then can you now start to, only then can you now begin the process to actually improve yourself.
That's fabulous. That's superb. Like, okay, let's go forward. Now, okay, now the next question we have here for you is, how can one prepare? This is the art talk of very science. How can one prepare for the future, and what are the possible roadblocks to expect? Whether as an adult, teenager, an old man that will soon die, It still has future. It still has another time in space time. So the old man also has future. So how can one prepare for the future, and what are the possible roadblocks, okay, to expect?
I think one thing that is important to know is that you cannot exactly prepare for the future because you can try to prepare for what you feel might happen. But again, you don't like there are many factors that are always going to be out of your control. You could just get caught up in a lot of things that are out of your control. But you can still also try to prepare based on like things that you are expecting of. You can try to look for what can like you can just try to predict what might happen in a good way, like just try to say, okay, what could happen in the future, or based on current events, what does the future hold? Then that is where you now try to make your plan. Like the plan again is not like a concrete plan because most of what you plan for may or may not happen. So, but again, having a plan is better than none because that's based on your plan that you can now still see, okay, which parts of my plan can I still use or which parts are reusable from that particular plan. But planning for your future, again, you cannot predict all the events, but you can only try to say, okay, based on current situations, what is going to happen next? Then you now try to get all your own preparations down.
Okay, that's a fantastic one. And I was trying to pick something just now, but I want to bring something in. Okay, now what if, for instance, now I live in an environment, for instance, and everybody around me is just showing or portraying failure, telling you Nigeria is a very, very dumb, hard place. And if you want to succeed, you gotta get ready to fast and pray all along, and you gotta get ready to make sure you move from church to church and look for miracle or see prophets here and there. What if you are surrounded with such individuals right now? How do you still create a better future for yourself?
The simplest solution is just to simply ignore them. That is just the only thing that you can do.
Okay,
Because
if
you cannot allow their thoughts to come into your head, or else they will mess up the whole thing.
okay, you should ignore them, okay, and you should ignore them. Okay, now, so just as sometimes you want to ignore something, your mind will still be picking on those things. What if it gets to that state? What do you advise? What mental practice could help that person? What is your advice to such individual?
I think so. For the only advice I have to is to once you see that particular thought or that particular thing that becomes nagging, it's for you to now try to confront it with facts. That is, try to again before you have your own conviction. Definitely, there must be some facts backing your own conviction. So face that particular thought or that particular question from your mind with the facts are okay. This is why this thing makes sense, or this is why this thing does not make sense. So based on that, I think you can actually silence that particular thought.
That's a really great one, and that's a really great one. Okay, bring facts. That's something I used some time ago in my life. Like, bring facts down. Okay, why did these people fail, and why do I feel I will feel like them? Bring facts down. Bring your head down. If you start to bring facts into the picture, your brain will just gonna tell you, "Hey, sir, I acknowledge you." Period. That's also a great one. Then another advice is you gotta like brainwash yourself for success. Brainwash yourself. Read books. That's another thing. Read books. Brainwash yourself. Just keep reading books. You will brainwash yourself to look like you're not living the same world these people are living in. That's another thing you should do. And another thing you can do is meditate. Meditate. You will brainwash yourself. You will live in a different space time, and it will be really obvious. Obviously, you are living in a different space time from the other person, but it will now be really obvious, and you see the power in having a unique space time and living in a unique space time as a human being. Okay, so that's right now. So Patrick, we are calling it quiz graduate right now. What is your perfect analogy you have? What is the perfect analogy you have to describe the human mind? Let me give you time to think. For me, the perfect analogy I have to describe human beings is humans are plants. Just like plant, it's seed, you put it in the ground, it germinates, right? Apogee, either epigee or apogee germination comes out, then it starts to show itself. Now imagine if you have never been exposed to being plants before in your life, and you see this, you see the plant comes up, you will never be able to tell what that thing is going to produce until you see the result. That's how humans are. You see a child is growing up, you may never tell what that child will be able to produce. But from the structure of the plant, you may be able to predict if it's going to last long from the roots. Does it have tap roots? You may be able to tell this thing is going to last long. That's how it is. So from some humans, you will be able to tell if they are going to be successful from what they are into, from how they think, from how they do things. You'll be able to predict it. But the actual sense is the kind of fruits that are going to bear is something that you may not be able to predict. Okay, may not be able to predict. So humans are just like plants, they're like seed. They put in the ground, they grow, they get branches, and they start to bear fruits. That is just it. So what is the perfect analogy you have to describe the human mind?
The best analogy that I have to describe human mind is probably something like, how would I put it, like a service, or anything like a store. Let's say the human mind is like a store where it picks up items that it finds around, or let's just say like a storeroom, like a storage room. It picks up items that it finds around, then it puts them there. Then our thoughts or our actions, that is our outward actions, are now like things that it shows based on recommendation. Like it's trying to recommend things now to people outside, like just like YouTube, where we say you put in different videos into YouTube, for example. Then you as a user now, you are not trying to find something. So YouTube is going to try to recommend the best that it can based on probably your own search, or probably other people's own search relating to that particular thing. So for me, I think the human mind still operates in a certain way where our experiences, things that we feel, things that we see, all those things get stored in the brain. Then based on what is stored in the brain, the mind that tries to recommend those things, like just tries the best to pick out of, okay, this particular thing that I've seen, how can I use this particular thing or this particular thing that I've felt or experienced? How can I use those things to deal with what is happening currently now? So for me, I feel like the brain is that sort of that, and that is my analogy for the brain, where it collects the thoughts that, or collects the experiences that we feel that we have, then it tries to recommend based on those experiences. It tries to recommend our present actions, or probably our thoughts based on those things.
Okay, that's really fantastic. Said it's a store and it picks up things. Okay, then what it displays out. So for now, day-to-day life, it actually recommends different things from what it has gathered. Okay, in it, like a store, an empty store when you were born, it starts to gather things as you start to grow, and from there it recommends to you, and that is just it. I have a book on that, an audio book on that. I'm really happy you gave a similar stuff, so I'll recommend the audio book in the description. It's really fantastic stuff. And what I said, the mind is just like a marketplace where you buy different products, where any thoughts you have in your head, there are different recommendations daily you have, and then if you pay attention to that thought, you actually buy that thought, and actually when you buy it, it becomes your product and your reality. And my audiobooks are usually something fictional, okay, and it's really sweet and interesting. That audiobook, I think it's inside the simulation, I think so. That idea is inside the simulation, the nature of the mind, God influencing the actions of humans. I think that audiobook too, that is what's having this description, similar description. So I'll put in the description right now, just 300 naira for the audiobooks of Gary Science, and the price changes every month. Like as at last 2 months, it was not 300 naira at all, but as at last month, which is this month, right, September, sorry, it was reduced to 300 naira for all the audiobooks, each of them. So you can, if you have 300 naira, just spend time on this stuff, improve your head knowledge. Okay, that is how to be successful. It's simple, it's testable. If you want to waste your life, then choose not to educate yourself. Just go like that. Okay, so now, Patrick, we're calling it quits right now. This is the last question you have right now. What are the things or attitudes that make the future seem so hard to live in?
I think it's the only attitude that can make the future difficult for anybody, because again we are still in the present, is actually having too much doubt or too much negativity and not wanting, like, it's just you letting your doubts overcome you. That is the only obstacle to seeing the future as being difficult. That you are now seeing the future through very, very difficult lens. If you want, again, you don't know what the future actually holds for you
Yeah.
since you're in the present. The only way now for you to actually change your perspective, the only thing that you can actually do now is try to change your perspective to be more positive, or even if you are not positive, at least be neutral. That is, you are not just trying not to be negative. It's only negativity that, again, your negativity will be coming from probably you trying to overthink of all the things that go wrong. So the only way for you to get rid of all these things is just either be positive, or if positivity is too hard, just be neutral. Just don't take any sides yet until you experience the particular thing.
Okay, that's really fantastic, and that's a really fantastic one. And I just want to describe it like more to the viewers right now. Now understand that many people just cling to the negative side, the future. What if I fall? What if this happen? What if that happen? Just crowded by those information, things like that, thoughts like that. You are buying those thoughts, okay, and you are definitely going to get the product, physical product, which is shame, disgrace, failure, actual failing, and not succeeding, this and that. That's what you're going to really get. So the advice here is this: picture it right now. We said the best way to solve the issue, the problem of having negative people, toxic people around you, and you still want to be successful, is to bring facts right now. Now let's bring a fact right now. Well, after a tree grows to the mature plant, does the tree goes back again to the seed? Does it happen? The answer is no. When it gets to the mature plant, it doesn't degenerate into the seed again and goes up again. It doesn't happen. That's the success you've had. They are your success. There's nothing that can pull you down. There's nothing that can reduce this channel to, let's say, 12 subscribers. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's success you have had that are yours. There's nothing any freaking witch can do. Any freaking human being can do. Understand that thing. The mature plant cannot degenerate into the seed again after it gets to the mature height. So understand that if you are watching right now. So this calls for you clinging to the positive side, okay, when it's about another time in space-time, which is your future. So understand that. So this is what we have right now, Patrick. Congratulations. This is the big hard talk. After the hard talk, you understand it's an increase on that stuff. So period. This is all you have to know right now. So let's go. Until next time, I want to talk about how to spend money wisely. And many people just spend money foolishly. They think 500 naira is nothing. Like 500 can do something to your life. Your life is where you are, because what you spend money on. Check me very well. Check the things I spend money on. What you spend money on is always shape your destiny. Okay? That's what we're going to discuss on. What you spend money on. 2.5 can change your life. 2.7 can change your life. Money is as powerful as it's usually been. Just that many people are now spending in the foolish direction. That's why it looks as if something is wrong with the whole system. So we will correct that in the next show. So just stay connected by subscribing only. Period. Like this video, share to your friends. If you are anywhere in the world, period. Let's go. Just let us know where you are from always. Like in our show, the next show, we're going to stream it live. So let us know. So we prepare the time for you. We'll tell you the time you can watch the live stream. So always comment. After you subscribe, watching this video, make sure you comment where I'm from Philistine, or sorry, I'm from Israel, from this and that. Just let us know, okay? So this is all we have right now. Stay connected, folks. Let's go. Patrick, until next time, stay connected. Thanks a lot.